Welcome back, everybody. We got another episode here of just random nonsense in car building. We're heading to Stanford right now to my buddy Dave with the other green Mustang that we were cutting up a couple weeks ago. We're going to buy some parts. He's an idiot, and he has now decided that instead of getting the cage into the car and getting his car going, that he's going to tack on another, I don't know, $5,000, and he wants to put a 4-link and 9-inch in it now. In doing so, he can't use the 8.8 that's in the car. Can't use the control arms, can't use the ARB, can't use any of the torque box stuff that he's already bought. Like, this is all brand new stuff that I got him through Team Z. Hasn't even been in the car. Can't use the wheels. He's got 2 sets of wheels for it, drag and drive wheels, racing wheels. One of them's beat up from the accident a couple of years ago, but you can't use any of it. It's all coming out, and it's all for sale. I'm going down there because he still has the original 8.8 that he took out of that car a couple of years ago. That's a stock width. I think it's a 31 spline, got a locker in it. I think it's got 373s in it. Anyway, I'm gonna buy that for the, you moron. I'm gonna buy that for the convertible. Perfect rear axle, C-clip eliminators, like the whole 9. It's perfect. I'm gonna see if I can work a price on him with that, and also I'm going to see if I can work a price on the 15x12s on his car. I've wanted to go to a 12-inch wide wheel for a long time. I just can't bring myself to spend the money on it. But now it's not the wheel I want, but if I can work a good price, buy another wheel, get it bead-locked, and I have a set, and then I could sell my welds, which apparently are gold now. You know, they cost a fortune. You can get a fortune for them. So, you know, I'll sell my 15x10s, or I'll keep them. I don't know. I don't know if I really need to hold on to a set of 10s. I don't know. It's like I could probably get like $1,600-1,700 for them. So I don't know if there's a point to sit on that type of money when I can start buying. I could go buy a set of injectors for my whole M1 changeover, or I can put it towards a roll cage, which I think I've come to the decision that the car is going to get a 25.3 at some point. It's not an easy decision to make. I still don't like it, but if I'm going to continue to go faster, I can't keep doing it in a 10-point cage. So we'll cross that bridge when the time comes, which, you know, is now. Yeah, we're gonna go work a deal on that. We're gonna try to. I gotta take pictures of the other stuff because that is the slowest state trooper I've ever seen. What is he doing? He's gonna sell all this stuff, and he doesn't do social media or anything, so I put it all up for sale. Go ahead. What? Tell all the viewers why you're stupid. Go ahead.
Yeah, because we're going to switch it to a 9-inch with a 4-link.
Nah, stupid.
It's going to be better in the long run.
Not with that motor. You better just sell that, put a big block in it.
Well, this is going to be the starter kit. Okay, starter kit. And we'll work our way up till when this blows into pieces, then we'll put a big block in. Or a Coyote. Haven't decided yet.
Ooh.
You see how fast fucking...
Coyotes are flying.
What's his name? It's not Rocket 2.0?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit made 2,600.
Yeah. They're bad. Lord. Sleeve block.
Yeah, sleeve block.
Pay $1 million for the motor.
Yeah, the short block is like 14 grand, I think you said.
I mean, at that point, I'd rather put a big block in it.
It's so much lighter, though.
You can get an aluminum big block for 5 Gs. Like the block.
Yeah, the block.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to be same amount.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I think it'd be cooler to pop the hood and have a Coyote under there.
I think it'd be cooler to have a big block with twins. And then you can make 2,500 horsepower reliably.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You go bottom 7, high 6s on drag week, and you're like, yeah, okay.
yeah, exactly, yeah. The bottom 7's turned down.
Yeah, and drive it. Like, that's my thing. If I'm going to actually push the 200-mile-an-hour dream that I want, it's going to get a big block.
Yeah, we're gonna try for 200 with this one guy.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but
Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean, how much like you know what I'm saying? The piece you want 188 on a stock block.
yeah, in a car that weighed 2,300 pounds.
Well, we slicing and dicing. I just ordered the carbon tubs.
I see a whole lot of metal on this car still.
It's got some fiberglass.
Metal fenders.
It does have metal fenders, yes.
Metal fenders.
We'll see. I'm gonna weigh this front clip when I take it off. I want to weigh the front clip and see what this weighs versus like a one piece.
Well, the hard you can't go off of hardwood. The hardwood is heavy.
Not hardwood. No.
Well, I weighed the fenders. Remember what were they?
I don't remember. But don't you have more fenders and shit at your house?
Yeah, I got a fender sitting at home.
And then where's my
Yeah, I know. And once I glanced over there, I looked. I was like,
this guy.
it's sitting there.
I can take the whole front end apart and redo all the front end, right?
Yeah. So this is all going to end up in the convertible. Well, not this, because it's going to get power steering. This and this.
Oh, shit, power steering.
Yeah, for the wife, she's getting power steering. Yep, real driver. So it's going to get. This is a modified AGE heat fit to clear the pan better. But it's been 7, so I ain't worried about it.
Yeah. Control
arms, because we're switching a coil over on that car because we want to go low. And like I was telling you guys about the other axle that he has originally out of this car. We're going to see how much he wants for that $200 piece. So, yeah. I got to list all that other crap for him for sale and get a lot of that sold. Did you talk to Gary about these wheels?
No, I haven't talked to Gary about the wheels. We got to talk to Gary about the wheels.
Those are street wheels, but they're going to be perfect fitting for an S197.
Yes.
So we got to see if he wants that.
Yeah, so we can see if he wants them. If not, they'll be up for sale.
Yeah, those will be up for sale. We got to see if one of our buddies wants them first, though, because he is going to do Midwest Drags with us. This was supposed to be at Midwest Drags, but it's almost January. Midwest Drags is July.
I have a whole shitload of parts.
That's great.
Just, we have to get
put them in the car.
Yeah, we have to get going on putting shit together. Like we're still slowly taking it apart.
Yeah,
we're not putting anything
slowly.
Together.
He said he was going 9-inch 2 weeks ago. The rear end's still in the car.
Yes, they're 9 inches ordered. Thank God. That took forever.
I heard that was a fiasco. Scotty told me all about it. You dummy.
Yo, I'm sitting on the couch waiting. Man.
Listen, all you need is one phone call.
I called him.
Call him again. Stop being lazy. Call him again.
I did.
I harass him. All right, so I struck a deal. There's his bent one that he. Oi!
Yeah, don't.
He hit a wall. We're gonna have to move all this crap anyway.
Yeah.
He hit a wall with it there. You can see that bad boy. Parts hoarding. What the hell's that radiator out of? Your Mustang?
Yeah, I got a couple of radiators in here.
Cylinder heads, square ports. Seats, turbo kits.
Those are off of the built motor.
Yeah. Oh, the stockers?
Yeah.
You still got that frozen boost intercooler sitting there?
Yeah.
BTE, fucking shield. Fucking, damn, there's a lot. There's a hood that went flying.
Yeah. My hood ain't going nowhere. My hood, I love my hood. Gotta get that boy out of there.
Oi. Wait. Stock Mustang doors. These were all manual that you got with the fiberglass ones. Now we got a better look. Yeah. You sure that rim is bent and not just a bead lock?
Well, we could try it.
Wait.
I'm 99% sure it was bent.
You know, because this is a whole piece welded to it. Turn it, rotate it towards you so I can see. Man, it almost looks like just the bead lock ring is bent in. I mean, obviously you can't see if the barrel's bent with it not being on a spinner. You know what? Let's get this thing checked. Maybe I can have, sitting on the rear. I'm like, why would it move? Maybe, I'll throw you extra cash if it can be fixed. Oh, look, part of ACO wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you your beadlock ring back. You could hang that up.
That bad boy back out of there.
That one's garbage. So much for that. That's all right.
I'm like 99% sure there was something wrong with this.
You guys can see
it actually bent the center back.
The deformation in the metal versus the other side.
Yeah, where it hit.
Back on the wall.
What's crazy is that wasn't even a hard hit.
No, well, I mean, it was 100 mile an hour.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, by the time we hit the back, it wasn't that bad.
So this, I just bought off of him. Oh, we so got to change those studs out, though. This is the original rear end out of his car. That's going to go into the convertible now. Yeehaw. These definitely got to get changed.
Oh, yeah.
Back to stock length.
I hate those damn things.
Yep. Is this a 1350 yoke?
Yes.
That's getting changed. Yeah, I'll just put a 1350 drive shaft in it.
If you, depending on what you need.
Oh, it's not, it's gonna. What is that?
Perfect.
For what, the Glide? Oh yeah, I could have it cut down, because it's gonna put in a 4L80 in it. So, we probably have a drive shaft. I could send it back to PST, or whoever, and have them shorten it.
Yeah, it's a PST shaft.
Yeah, have them shorten it, and stick it in the car. So we gotta take the axle out, and we gotta get my other ram, and that's all I'm buying today. But I might buy the rear shocks, your strange shocks, eventually. I don't know, but I need to buy front ones first. So we have to lift this heavy bitch out of here and put it in my truck and somehow take it out. Huh?
Back there. I see it.
What?
Back there.
Oh, tire.
Yeah, I'm like, where the fuck did that
Yep.
go?
So we're gonna mop this up. We gotta cut these brackets off. I'm not gonna do inboard coilovers.
You could leave them out, man.
Modified Mustang, 83.
Any last words for the Vert wrench?
Oh, poor Vert. That's number 2. Well, this is probably about a week since when picked up that rear end stuff from Dave. How the hell did that size end up in there? I've been trying to use a GoPro. Well, let me rephrase that. A knockoff GoPro. All right. This little thing. The only thing so far I like about it is the fact that it charges while recording. It's a huge feature. The downside is I've now recorded this video twice. First time it was on a time lapse somehow, which it's a little tiny little bunny rabbit at the bottom of the screen you can't even see unless you're staring at it for an hour. And it had no audio. And then the second time, figured that out, turned the mic on, and there's still no audio. I can't figure that thing out. I gotta sit down and play with it more, but I'm not wasting any more time on it. My fault for not doing a trial run with it before trying to use it. I really need to get a vlogging camera. This whole GoPro iPhone thing is a nightmare. The beginning half of this video was shot with iPhone, and I don't know what happens with my transfer in iMovie, but it bleaches the entire screen. That's why it looks kind of weird, because I have to edit it so you could actually see everything. Highly obnoxious. The worst part is I lost all footage of working on this thing. That's obnoxious. I can't stand when that happens. But can't do anything about it. It is what it is. It's all said and done. But what I did film was so we got all that stuff. We got the rear end for the Vert. I did find in his shed of toys, he had upper and lower non-adjustable aftermarket control arms for a Fox body. I think they're UPR. He had those sitting, so I ended up with those as well. So I got the rear end. I got 15 by 12 wheel, which I'll show you here. It's a significant bit wider. It looks better, but it's technically only 1 inch wider. Same 275 Pros. This is 9.5-inch contact patch. This is a 10.5-inch contact patch. I mean, I'm measuring just from, you know, the wear line I can see on both, but it significantly looks better. I got Scotty wheels looking for the second one I need, and order that up and get that found as soon as possible so I can get that rolling for spring. And the convertible, I didn't really go over the rear end that much, but the Aerospace 4-piston brakes, the slotted rotors, superior 31 spline axles, got a Detroit locker in it with 373s. You know, this has ARB mounts on it, coilover mounts, brace mounts. I got to get some bushings, but that's a nice piece. It's gonna go great in this ride. Oh, there's the lower control arms. He had to take the uppers because his dummy sold his, but he has to transport the car to get the cage put in, which is finally happening now, so we might get some video of that very soon. My package from Maxim Motorsports came in with the front brake line stuff I was telling you guys about, so this underhood stuff is done. I own it. Rear axle, that. And then we had a bunch of, sorry, I put my blanket here, keep the cold out. I had a bunch of data stuff in for my car. This is for the green car. So I got drive shaft speed, low dollar Motorsports. What I really like is how wide that gear is. The teeth are really wide. Hit a whole sensor. Low dollar front shock sensor, low dollar rear shock sensor, low dollar shifter position sensor. I got Holley G meter with a race wire mount. That's pretty slick. I'm pretty excited for that. Gives a lot of data. And I'm happy I found Mad Racing Parts sells the O2 cable by the foot, so I can build my O2 harness for the secondary O2 and put this stuff away. I'm pretty happy to have all this. And then we got the Holley EGT CAN controller for EGTs. I just need to get the EGTs now, but I got to figure out where to mount this, because I was going to mount this on the back side of my relay panel, but this harness is fairly short, so that's got to go to the firewall. So that's going to be fun. There's a lot of stuff to install in the car. I think that's pretty much all the data stuff I'm adding this winter. It's all fairly easily done. I got to make some measurements so I can measure the stuff in the rear for the rear shock sensor, make brackets for the front shock sensor. I still have to buy the actual EGT probes, and for that we're gonna have to tear the headers off the car, which is fine because I blew out one of the exhaust gaskets, which I don't think I have one of the flanges on the driver's side perfectly flat. First time I ever welded a header, so I kind of warped it, and I was able to work it back into shape, but I see a little bit of black out from number 7 cylinder out the bottom. Now when those get pulled, I gotta weld all the EGT bungs on them, and then I want to have them coated this year, heat retention, so I'm probably gonna get them Cerakoted if I have time. You know, that's what it is. I mean, if I'm welding those things in come April, that's not gonna happen this year. They'll get sent out next year. This cool thing, this is going to be, you see the old radiator out of my Mustang. This is going in the convertible, but this is going to be a heat exchanger for my intercooler. Drag Week 2021 had an air-to-air on the car with a closed bumper. Sucked. Absolutely sucked. 2022, we had an air-to-water. 10 times better. Having to get ice all the time. Sucked. So we're going to build a reservoir in the front end with a Davis Craig electric water pump, and that intercooler, or that heat exchanger, it's a radiator, that heat exchanger, and we're just going to cycle it like a gallon of water, gallon and a half of water. We're just going to cycle it through the intercooler in the nose. I'm going to get rid of the ice tank in the back. I know someone with this setup, and with the White Nova that was on Drag Week Day 0, had this, says it works beautifully, so we're going to give it a try. Hopefully that band-aids that issue. And the only other thing is I want to get a fuel cell out of the car and under the trunk with an in-tank street pump. More of a safety thing. Second on the list is I get my trunk back if I get rid of the ice tank, and I get rid of the fuel cell, and then that can allow me eventually, next year probably when I upgrade the cage, is to move the coilover bar up into the car so I can get a better ride height. I want to be able to get that thing down 2-3 more inches. But I got to do some serious suspension modifications to do that. I won't have to raise the tunnel or anything like that, but I need to get the coilover bar from under the floor to above the floor so I can get that 2 inches. There's enough about the green car. I will make a video, probably 2 videos, when we go over installing all of that data acquisition stuff. So the Civic, I've been working nonstop on this car. It has come a long way. We've done a ton of work to it. I've done a ton of work to it. Tony's just the money man. I just get to spend his money as I see fit. I have completed all the cold side piping, tubing. Nobody get on my case about it. Cold side tubing. I've mounted the blow off valve. Intercooler's mounted. Radiator's mounted. Radiator hoses are mounted. I have the throttle body off right now because I had to change these screws out. I had to change those screws out and these bolts out too. For the TPS, the ones I have are just like 2 threads into the throttle body, so I had to get bigger ones. You can actually see in there a little 1/8 MPT bung I welded it in. I had to go to a V-band on the cooler because this thing would have had to go like out and then back in and then around to be able to fit the coupler like on this side. But I figured the V-band would be easier and cleaner. My pie cuts are getting better, my welding's getting better, and it's honestly because my fit-up's getting better, but that thing is solid. Yeah, we got this all welded up. This cold side, I welded a V-band onto the turbo. I was going to say I showed you guys this, but yeah, that film's all lost. Oh, 3-inch V-band here, all 3-inch tubing. I left enough room so he could actually get, I'm pretty sure this gear selector can come out. These are problematic on the K-Series. So that looks like it can be removed with the shit. I think you could remove the transmission with the intercooler tubing in. I mounted the boost controller. I made this bracket last night. This came out pretty nice. It's just, you know, aluminum that I shaped and formed and everything. Got some tiny little 632 screws for it to mount it up here. I'm gonna probably put a Deutsch connector on it, you know, somewhere, wherever I can get it to look clean and not all jankety. But I started to run the boost controller hose. That's going to be down there, and I have to run 2 more down to the wastegate. You see the wastegate right there? Yeah, I got to run 2 because this is a 4-port. Yeah, so we made the radiator hoses. This was a little bit of a challenge because the problem is this is straight on. While these are their extreme race mounts, they still can have a little play. So I had to tilt this radiator back, make this hose, and then push it forward so it forced an angle on it. So it had a little bit of leeway to play. See the bottom hose is in too. So our cooling system, minus wiring the pump, is 100% done. Well, not 100% done. I lied. He gave me this as a coolant overflow. I don't know how I feel about this thing. It's kind of gaudy and I don't like necessarily know where I can put this thing and not have it look like total diarrhea. I don't know if we're gonna use that. I might make something. Might make a nice slender. I'll take some of the leftover 3-inch tubing I have, you know, and maybe make something off the mount here, off the side of the radiator. You know, I don't know. I could always come over here too, because it doesn't need to be big. We'll see. I haven't quite figured that out, but I do not like that one. What else have we done? Fuel cell catch can will be here Friday, Christmas Eve. The flange for precision. Oh, God, how people still support this company is beyond me. They've made something as simple as buying a flange and clamp a fiasco. What should have taken 5 minutes took longer than a week, because it got to the point of where I was like, just give me the part numbers and I'm going to order somewhere else, because they acted like I was buying nuclear secrets from them. It was It just reaffirms the fact that I will never, ever, ever in my lifetime own a precision product. Ever. I owned one like 15 years ago, and I'll never, ever own one again. But anyway, fuel cell. Once I get the fuel cell and the catch can mount, obviously I can finish the catch can relatively quickly. It's literally going to be dump it in here, you know, screw the ends on, just cut these hoses down, and that's done. Once the fuel cell is mounted, I can start mounting all the pumps and filters, and then we can start plumbing this thing. I really wish that manifold came forward one more inch, a half an inch. I just don't know what turbo they expected to be able to use on this, because that's not a monster turbo. It's a 6870, and it's almost touching the firewall when you have, you know, that much gap in the front. I'm going to show you something that you should know about this type of Van Jan clamp. A little trick that a lot of people don't know, but that involves me putting the throttle body back together. So let me put that back together, and then I'll show you what needs to be done with one of those. Alright, so what I was saying was, I just got the throttle body back on. This is probably a little bit more than it's needed, but you gotta have an air gap in between these two for this type of clamp to work correctly. If you're familiar with the Van Jan, you got your sleeve here that goes up and around these two O-rings, and then your clamp that wraps around the two, and that allows freedom. Usually an 1/8 inch is fine. I've obviously ended up with, you know, 3/16-ish, but it's not going to hurt anything. You know, the motor's just rocking back, so this is just going to open up a little bit more. But yeah, that is the way you weld those clamps the correct way. So I'm gonna get that clamp back together. I got some screws for the boost controller because I don't like the screws I put in there, and I got some new screws, bolts for the TPS sensor on the front of the motor, on the front of the throttle body. Like I said, they were just a touch too short. We're gonna wrap it up. Sorry about this video. This video is just all sorts of messed up. I just need to start carrying this GoPro pretty much wherever I go so I don't run into this problem. And buy a vlogging camera so I can just use a GoPro for on the car crap. But we're making great headway on this thing. My goal right now is to have this out of here by the end of January. I don't see why it can't be. There's not too much crazy amount of stuff. Like, yeah, it still needs to be plumbed. Yeah, it still needs to be wired. But like the chassis wiring is literally lights, front and back, and an interior dome light, but I won't do that until he has a cage in the car, because I'll just do the same setup that I have in my car. Lights, ignition, turn signals, everything's going to work off the key, and then obviously the engine stuff's after. You know, the engine and sensors and fans and water pumps and fuel pumps and all that is, I like to keep those two systems separate. It just makes it way easier when you're diagnosing a problem. Separate harnesses, separate fuse panels, separate relays, everything's separate, so you can go, okay, I got a light problem, it's over here. Okay, I got a fuel pump problem, it's over here. Just seems to be the smartest way I do these cars. But it doesn't need to be here for that stuff, because we don't know where the engine harness is. Next week, I'm probably going to be mounting up, or maybe even tomorrow, I'm going to be mounting up the drive shaft and the viscous coupler. And we got to weld some stuff in the bottom for that and get that all mounted so I can measure for the rear drive shaft. He can get on the phone with DSS and get one of those ordered up. And then the all-wheel drive, well, he still needs the gear for the transfer case. He has the billet case, he just doesn't have the gear for it yet. So that's coming down the pipeline. So we'll go over the fuel mounting, fuel pump mounting, and plumbing, and then, you know, the flange for the turbo stuff should be here so I can start doing that. And then once this is gone, we get to put the convertible over here. I can't wait to get that thing up on stands. I'm gonna have to make more cribbing, or see if I can find used race ramps somewhere, or get my green car off it, put my green car on stands, and you know, these are 6 tons under here, so maybe put my green car on the 6 tons and bring the cribbing over here, because that thing's got to be sitting on its vehicle weight if I'm cutting parts of the floor out of that thing, so it can't be. And it's a convertible, so wishy-washy. But I'm excited for the convertible. I'm really excited for that car because we have almost everything. I'm hoping to have a transmission here in the next couple of weeks with a converter. And then I got to buy some engine parts, and we'll probably start off that thing with maybe putting the engine together, make the engine and transmission together, and that could sit off to the side until I get the metalwork and paint done in the engine bay, and we could slam a drivetrain in it. That would be amazing. That'd be cool if I get that car running, you know, sooner than later. Get in your garage, grab a cold drink, get to work on your hot rod. Have a great night, guys.